We are back with another edition of Across the Plane, singular. I'm one of your three hosts tonight, Tresdon Harris, Trade80_19. Maple Jordan season, he had a terrible game. The Wolves are not fun right now. Yeah, boo that man. Boo that franchise.
Yo, this is Marcell, a.k.a. @Styles_Rap_is_Life. You can follow me on Twitter and Instagram. I'm doing a little trolling right now. I am wearing Steph Curry number 30 in honor of the Vikings setting up NFL playoff record, most playoff losses all time with 30. So trolling over here, troll.
You're like trolling your own Wolves team too.
Troll.
Because guess who could have drafted him twice?
I think about that every day. You don't need to remind me.
Yeah, exactly.
Jake the rookie. All my jerseys are in the laundry right now. And
we're back. You're still a rookie.
Still a
rookie. I'm on the bench.
Like that. I'm on the bench.
Shout out to Will, who is not here tonight because he is at home sick. So we are wishing you were here, and we would love just the hot take you have on NFL playoffs and the college football national championship game today. And I'm sure he has a lot to say about the Wolves too.
Oh yeah, who doesn't have a lot to say about the Wolves? But let's start off with a lighter note. Your Minnesota Golden Gophers is now sitting at 3-3 in the Big Ten Conference. Just had a nice little upset win over number 19 ranked Michigan. Daniel Uturu, the center, led the way with 30 points and 13 rebounds. It was quite the effort. 1 of 2 from 3.
From Creighton, Durham Hall, right?
I believe so.
Shout out to them. They've just had a really weird start to the season. They started off super slow, then it got hot fast, and they kind of cooled off again. They're 9-7 now.
Yeah,
but
this helps the resume. Get hot at the right time. Maybe come this spring and everything.
I mean, it's gonna be very interesting because they lost 3 straight: Oklahoma, Butler, Utah. And then they just kind of went on a little, had a pretty nice streak going. But, again, you only got to be good enough to make the tournament, and anything can happen.
Shout out Marcus Carr of Toronto, Ontario, another Canadian basketball player, averaging now 16, 5 rebounds, and 7 assists per game, which is pretty nice to rebound after Amir Coffey departing for the draft. So, shout out to Marcus Carr. Kind of out of nowhere. Slow start, too, to the season. Like you said, a really weird, slow start and just finding the right gears in the last, month and a half.
Shout out to the Gophers. And then one more thing I do want to mention before we move on and talk about the NFL playoffs. The entire city of Houston right now is kind of in disarray after the Astros GM and team manager were both suspended and then fired today because of the whole cheating scandal. And it's also pretty weird that they are not going to take away the championship, though. They're not taking away the 2017 championship. They're going to allow them to keep that.
That is weird.
I mean, baseball is weird like that, though. Pete Rose is one of the greatest batters ever, and he's not in the Hall of Fame because he was gambling.
But the weird thing about Pete Rose is that he was betting on himself and his team to win.
So, and how are you going to keep him out of the Hall if he's trying to win on and off the field?
Barry Bonds, did they let him in?
No.
He has not been in.
Well, he's
Roger Clemens hasn't been let in yet.
But they're going to let him keep the title.
I believe
seems weird.
I believe there's an asterisk next to it.
I don't think they're putting an asterisk next to it. I think they're just going to allow them to keep it as is.
Yeah,
so that's weird to me.
Probably expect the same thing with the World Series because you look at baseball, they play a series, and whoever won that series is obviously the World Series champion. And it's not like you could point to certain moments during that series that would, swing the tide. But it's weird and tough in baseball.
There's always that. What's that say? If you ain't cheating, you ain't trying. My whole thing, don't allow them to steal signs. Change your signs. That's my take. I mean, you got caught and you have to be made an example of. I don't have a problem with the punishment.
Neither do I.
But at the same time, just hey, change your signs. In-game adjustments, man. You should all. I would just always assume that my signs are always trying to be stolen. I constantly change them. By the way, Cleveland's beating the Lakers right now at halftime.
What?
Yeah, that's pretty weird.
They also just beat the Nuggets.
Oh man, maybe the post LeBron Cavs are coming together.
Finally figuring it out.
Stop playing like a bunch of thugs.
Yeah,
that's a funny NBA story.
Jim Beeline. Interesting.
Yeah. It was just interesting. It's like I can like understand. I could totally see him like saying.
But who says a bunch of slugs? Come on now.
So I generally don't believe it was ever whatever he said was not supposed to be a like insult in any type of way. I think he really was trying to say something else and like was just rambling and just went with them. Just told, hey, by the way,
I don't know. I think he was kind of trying to trash how they were playing and trying to say this is how you play properly.
Yeah.
Like some thugs.
Under my system.
What is he now?
Not like some thugs.
He's
like,
a college coach.
Yeah, exactly. Like he's got some proper system.
That works.
And then before we transition...
they won, so that was the point he was trying to make.
They went out now. Before we transition to NFL football, we will be keeping an eye... Because we are recording during the national championship game, so... We will be just keeping an eye on that. LSU is currently up 42-25. Burrow's looking fantastic tonight, and he's also playing
overall pick.
And he's playing hurt too, along with it looks like he had a rib injury earlier in the game. So LSU currently they're in the fourth quarter. LSU is looking like they're about to win the national championship. Well deserved if they do, and if they blow it, well deserved by Clemson.
Shout out LSU.
Let's move on to a more professional football. There were 4 NFL games that happened this weekend that were absolutely, I would say all of them were interesting in their own way.
Yeah.
Especially the Kansas City and Houston might have the most interesting blowout I have ever seen.
You want to start there?
Yeah, let's start there. Because they played, no, I'm sorry, they were the second game. But... yeah, that was a very interesting game. I've never seen a team blow a blowout before halftime. They were up 24-0 in the second quarter and allowed them to score 4 touchdowns in the second half. I mean, in the second quarter alone. And it was funny because we were actually all talking in our group chat, and I was saying, "Yep, get ready for who thought the Texans-Titans AFC Championship." Game was coming, after I texted that, there was another part of me that said Kansas City could easily make up 24 points. Like that just sounds too easy for them, and that's exactly what they. Not only did they make it up, they did it in one quarter.
41 unanswered.
41 unanswered. That is wild. That's probably equivalent to an NBA team allowing a 20-0 run to start the quarter and then just going on a 50-0 run the rest of the game.
Seriously.
And for those who say defense don't matter.
Look at Houston. I mean, Kansas City, shout out Andy Reid and Pat Mahomes for making adjustments, obviously, because they really looked like slugs in the first quarter.
I don't think they made adjustments. I think they were just
just caught the ball. That was really there was some drops that ended some drives, and Houston capitalized, fumble, block punt.
Yeah, Houston had 2 touchdowns that were special team. They had the block punt return for the touchdown, then Tyreek Hill dropped the ball at the 6-yard line, and that led to 2 touchdowns.
Yeah,
I mean they are 5th in scoring this year, so
and I mean
it's bound to happen.
I mean, if I'm so if there's one moment in that game that I look back at where I really think that the tide really turned is Houston choosing not to go for it on that 4th and 1 and kicking the field goal. I still think they should have went for it there. They should have known a 24-point lead is just not enough.
It's not.
It's not enough. I don't feel safe. I would not have felt. They should not have felt safe kicking a field goal there on 4th and 1.
Let's be real here. A 28-point lead wouldn't have been safe either.
That's true, but I mean,
a touchdown is just so much more demoralizing.
I think if you score another touchdown, Kansas City's defense. It's just more momentum. You know, we're just going to punch you in the mouth the entire game. I just think it's different. But I
don't think it would have mattered. I think it was just a matter of time before Mahomes and his receivers started connecting. It was just a couple drops. It looked like they're going to score touchdowns. It's just what he does is something
So I also feel like if you go for it there and and you do score the touchdown, you don't try to fake punt next drive.
That fake punt, I think, was really bad playmaking or decision making.
So playmaking. So actually we're the opposite because I actually like the call, but I don't think you make the call if you go for it on 4th and 1 the drive before, which is
if you score the touchdown.
Yeah. If you go for it on 4th and 1, score the touchdown, you don't go for it there. You punt the ball deep, don't give them a short field.
Yes.
And so that's why I think that's why I look at that play as the game-altering moment. But
it's a 4-point difference in the score. That's what I don't understand.
It forces them to get a touchdown, though.
Well, they were going to get a touchdown either way.
That's true.
So that's another point. I don't think Houston necessarily stops them from scoring 51 points. And again, that's when, to your point, the touchdown then doesn't matter if you go for it. But at the same, like I said, I think momentum and just a mental thing. It's a little different because now you're like, okay, we finally stopped them, held them to a field goal. We got some momentum. Now we're going down, got a touchdown, and again, if it's 28-7, Houston's probably thinking, nope, send that ball deep. We have a 3-touchdown lead. We're gonna make them use that clock as much as we can, even though Kansas City quick scoring ability is just absolutely insane. That offense is never off, except against the Colts this year. That offense is just never off. Andy Reid is just incredible and a credible offensive mind.
He really is.
So as for Houston, Houston's had a bad weekend.
Really bad weekend.
Houston's had a bad weekend. If I am Houston, I am seriously upset with the fact that you won the Buffalo game because now Bill O'Brien is keeping his job. Because that saved his job there.
I agree.
Winning that game. Even though, really, watching that game, all I could think is, man, Bill O'Brien's just wasting Deshaun Watson's greatness.
Yeah, it really is true. It sucks for Deshaun Watson.
And so now Houston's not even going to hire a GM. They're going to keep rolling with Bill O'Brien, basically making all the decisions.
He's not Bill Belichick, Houston.
But at the same time, they keep winning with them.
Yeah, they've been in the playoffs.
I mean,
how many years in a row now?
TJ, he took a team with TJ Yates as quarterback to the playoffs. Then again, that defense was fantastic that year.
It was.
But Bill O'Brien's just one of those coaches I just don't think will ever win. I don't think he'll ever even make an AFC championship. I mean, he got lucky that Deshaun Watson's just absolutely a fantastic quarterback, and they won, and they came back to beat Buffalo. And in the NFL playoffs, a lot of it comes down to who the better quarterback is, and that's just what happened in that game. Deshaun Watson was just a better quarterback than Josh Allen. But yeah, if I'm Houston, I've just been reading some of the stuff on Houston's Twitter, and man, they're all just like it was just not worth beating Buffalo, knowing Bill O'Brien was keeping his job, and then you're just getting embarrassed by Kansas City.
He's a mediocre head coach, or I guess a coach that can't coach in big moments, or GM for that matter.
Well, he just can't build an O-line. Yeah, man, but shout out to Kansas City. They are just
juggernauts.
They look good, especially on offense.
Are they the new Super Bowl favorite?
After what happened this weekend?
San Francisco, I think, San Francisco on the defensive side of the ball is just way superior to Kansas City. And you still have to go under the belief their defense wins championships. And I think San Francisco's offense is good enough. They could probably put up 30 on Kansas City, and I think San Francisco can hold Kansas City to around just under 30. Because I don't think anyone's gonna hold them under 20. What I say? I think only team that's held them under 23 points since Mahomes got there is the Colts.
I think they'll be in the 30s every
game. I could see that, and the only thing is I think San Francisco can also put up 30 on their defense.
Yeah.
They had a shootout against New Orleans, which was a great game earlier in the season.
Yeah, Bill O'Brien is 52-44 overall.
Yeah.
But he's only had one losing season.
Interesting.
That is really interesting. 2017 when they went 4-12 and Deshaun Watson got hurt. He's been 9-7, but 9-7 or better every other year.
So who is Deshaun Watson or?
Well, I mean that's before Deshaun Watson.
That's also true.
What do we think about the upset?
Oh, then Tennessee and Baltimore.
Yeah,
Big Trust goes down. The Drake curse continues.
Yeah, and not only that.
It was Drake wearing a Lamar Jackson?
Yeah.
Oh, I hate to see it.
And not only that. Well, one, I would like to say I told you all be aware of Tennessee at the beginning of the season. I thought they would win the division, and unfortunately
they came close.
They were close, and if Ryan Tannehill is starting the whole year, I think that's different.
I do recall, but you said nothing about Tannehill in your prediction. So.
Well, okay. Listen, if you would have told me Ryan Tannehill was starting for them this year, I probably would not have had them winning the division. Yeah. I definitely would not have had them winning the division. Shout out to Ryan Tannehill for just being
himself.
Yeah, just being himself there, man. Being exactly what Tennessee needs. But I also want to shout out Amani Hooker, former Park Center Pirate. So I am cheering for Tennessee just because it would be awesome to see someone from my high school win a Super Bowl. We had someone win a World Series in 1987 for the Twins. And so, I'm sorry, Hopkins royalty basketball.
No. I'm saying like 1987. It's like almost.
Yeah, it's been a very long time
that's
since.
a long time. It's like 30 years.
But we also produced Pat Neshek, who has been an All-Star.
That I did not know.
Years. Yeah. So, but he has not won a championship. So yeah, seeing Amani Hooker win a championship. I went to me and his brother were the same graduating class. He is playing professional basketball in I want to say France. I want to say France is where he's at right now. But Tennessee's defense looks legit. Mike Vrabel, I love Mike Vrabel, man. That was such a good hire for them. And don't forget.
Yeah, I like how he coaches.
Yeah, and don't forget they were one win away, and they lost their quarterback last year from making the playoffs last year.
Yeah, that's true.
Who they just unfortunately placed Andrew Luck, and I think Tennessee played Blaine Gabbert that game.
I think so.
I believe they played Blaine Gabbert that game, so I can't even blame them for losing.
Yeah, shout out Ryan Tannehill. 7 for 14, 88 yards, 2 touchdowns. Talk about efficiency.
He only completed 7 passes.
Yep.
Didn't he only complete like
7 passes
the week before? That is incredible. Ryan
Tannehill is just running the ball. It's old school.
They ran the ball 37 times as a team.
He honestly really looks like a Belichick mini,
just
this is Belichick.
The mind is there. Yeah, you see every tricks in the trades.
Ryan Tannehill has thrown for 160 yards in the 2 playoff games.
What
total?
What?
See, that's some Belichick, Tom Brady offense. Brady's doing.
They've got the receivers now. They obviously have the running game and the running back.
Wait till they get their offensive line is good too.
An athletic, young, mobile quarterback.
You have Derrick Henry.
Wow.
3 consecutive games, 180 on the ground.
I mean, basically
not including the passes he's caught.
And basically Mike Vrabel's just saying, listen, I have Derrick Henry. You're not stopping him. You're definitely not stopping him in the 4th quarter when you're all exhausted. He's still just churning away. You're not stopping him. That's why that game against Kansas City next week, and then we'll do our predictions later. But that game against Kansas City next week is going to be It's the hottest defense right now versus the offense that's hot all the time.
It's the hottest team right now in the Titans. One of them.
Yeah, they just have so much confidence. It's not even like their offense
and
is
just
absurd.
wins.
They're just winning. Yeah,
they were winning right before the playoffs.
And then I guess we got to talk about Baltimore and their decision. So all their starters went about 3 weeks without playing. They didn't play week 17, then they didn't play last week. So it was a 3-week gap between they played. And I know there's been a lot of talk about whether or not that's something they should have done.
We've seen it hurt teams before.
It's hurt team before, but we've also seen actually now I think of it, have we actually ever seen anyone major get hurt week 17 in a game that didn't matter?
No,
I'm saying it's hurt teams before resting their guys and then coming off the bye week and then
Yeah, and I agree with you. And that's what I'm saying. Has anyone ever went ahead and said, all right, we're going to play our starters or most of our starters week 17, and then one of them got hurt and cost the playoff game? I don't think it's happened. And, I mean, you could also game plan. So it's like, hey, if you have a running back, like, hey, all your runs are going to the outside. So, you could just scurry out of bounds. We don't want you to get tackled. We'll do all our inside runs for our RB2. I can't think of anyone off the top of my head. So it's going to be interesting how Baltimore comes back next year. I think they're going to bring most of the same guys back. I would like to see them get one more major wide receiving weapon for Lamar Jackson, because they got
to keep developing Hollywood Brown, obviously.
Yeah. I don't think they should get rid of anybody, but if you could. Maybe that'd probably be, because I believe they have a first-round pick. That'd probably be my first or second-round pick. I'd try to get, actually probably second round. First-round wide receivers usually don't work out. I'd probably second round try to get a wide receiver for them. Lamar Jackson was fantastic. 300 passing yards, over 100 rushing yards.
They just needed to play better.
I mean, Tennessee was just a better team that game. Because what was it? Baltimore had never been stopped on 4th and 1 all year, and Tennessee stopped them twice in that game.
Baltimore will have the 28th pick.
Yeah, but I mean, again, they don't need a high pick. They just I really just like to see them get a wide receiver and maybe shore up some things in that secondary on that defense. But they're so well coached, there's not a lot they have to do.
Shout out to the Titans. Shout out to King Henry. This is going to be a fun, exciting AFC game, I think. But on to the NFC.
Yeah. We could start with the Packers.
Okay. I was going to say Vikings just to.
Well, we could. So
the Packers game was the better game, anyways.
Yeah. So Jake, I haven't actually got a chance to ask you. First question: was that a first down? Do you believe it was a first down?
They called it first down.
So are you just? I don't necessarily disagree with it. Is that kind of your stance on it?
Yeah.
If that's what. See, that's kind of mine too. I thought. So one, the yellow line was not official. That yellow line was off. Mm-hmm. It was off.
It's on TV. Yeah. Exactly.
I thought he got the first down, but I thought they gave him. I do think they gave him an extra yard to assure he had the first down. But it did look like where he was tackled and his elbow went down where the ball was, that I don't think it would have been enough to overturn it. But I do think it should have moved back probably about a yard or half a yard, and they should have measured it. But I do think he got it.
I didn't watch the game, but I saw the play, and I watched it multiple times from different angles. I don't think he got the first down. It should have been measured, but I wasn't surprised that that happened to be the game. Does that make sense? Everything just kind of happened to fall into that place. Oh, they need an inch or two. And that yellow line was probably half a yard off.
Yeah, probably.
Yeah, about a half a yard off of the actual marker. And I just straight don't think that when he was tackled and the elbow went down, you can see his helmet past the first down line, but his shoulder pads, and when you look at it from a different angle, he's got it more near his waist and stomach than his actual chest. So probably just a bad spot. And like we said it last week, 100th season of the NFL, Green Bay Packers are in the playoffs to play for the the Lombardi Trophy. They named the damn thing after their head coach.
I don't think it's that crazy either. Super Bowl one was Chiefs Packers.
Oh, shout out to State Farm for bringing it back.
I mean, Mahomes versus Rodgers. Mahomes versus Rodgers.
Get man, the tinfoil hats
The Super Bowl commercials with those two would just be off the charts.
They've just been preparing us all year.
All year.
Warning you.
Get ready for this Mahomes-Rodgers matchup.
That'd be fun, though.
It would.
As long as Green Bay loses, it would be.
Yeah.
Also, I want to add, but despite that, we can call it a controversial first down. Seattle could not get off the field on third down.
They could not.
Just not at all. They did not. They just did not deserve. That was another stance. They did not deserve the spot to go their way because they just struggled on third down the entire game. And when they needed to stop most, they couldn't get it again.
Yeah, seriously. Shout out to Rodgers for making some pretty big throws when he needed to.
Yeah,
I'll give a lot of credit to Devontae Adams. 160 yards and 2 touchdowns. Wow, that's a pretty darn good game.
And he made a hell of a throw to Devontae Adams late in the fourth on third down.
4 minutes left.
But, man, Seattle has to fix that defense and the offense. Seattle has so many holes that Russell Wilson and
Pete Carroll.
I wouldn't even say deal with, but that they cover up. Because Pete Carroll just gets his team fired up for every single game.
He's a pretty good coach, too.
He's top 5 coach right now.
Yeah.
He just has his guys ready. But they're just lacking so much talent on that team.
Yeah.
It's Russell Wilson, Tyler Lockett, DK Metcalf. And to be fair, every single one of their running backs got hurt.
At the same time.
And so they were relying on 55-year-old Marshawn Lynch, who was serving tequila and probably smoking a blunt
2 weeks
in
ago.
Oakland just a few weeks ago. But they have a lot of holes in that roster that Russell Wilson and they're hard for them to fix. Because Russell Wilson and again Pete Carroll just too good of a combination to lose a bunch of games.
Yeah,
like when they missed the one time they did miss the playoffs, they really only missed it because they went like 9-7 that year, and Blair Walsh missed a kick in Week 17 that cost them a win against the Cardinals.
That's right. Leave it to Blair Walsh.
Yeah, costing teams advancing. Even now, he's probably on some like semi-pro league, costing them a championship somewhere.
Watch him pop up in the XFL.
Oh God,
which is coming soon.
No one's giving him a contract.
Are we gonna talk about XFL when it pops up?
I gotta watch it first. I gotta watch it after watching the what was that? The AFF or whatever. Just failing miserably. Just failing miserably. I'm gonna wait and see.
Yeah.
But shout out to Green Bay, man. You had a really good year. I'm not going to be a hater forever. I'm going to cheer for you to lose just as much as I can. But
yeah,
okay.
You had a good year,
guys. I hope you lose in Levi.
I hope you get blown out. Honestly,
that'd be nice.
I hope Rodgers throws 4 interceptions. What you want?
Are the Packers
the home
they
go to California?
So that's actually a good transition into the Vikings because there's a point I want to bring up about the NFC North, but we can cover the Vikings 49ers game before we do that.
We just got beat.
I actually did not. This was the only playoff game I did not watch. And
I watched the first half, then I had to go to work.
I didn't watch a single snap from this game.
We just got beat. They said we're going to control the clock, we're going to run it down your throats, and that's exactly what they did. We got behind early. The defense is legit. They're 100%. I didn't walk away mad, sad, depressed, or I didn't feel anything for it. I'm like, you know what? San Francisco had a much better game plan. They went out and executed it tenfold, and here we are. Because we responded after the touchdown early, but then
I thought it was going to be a good game. When Stephon Diggs caught the 41-yard touchdown, I was like, 7-7, they're responding.
Then we went 3 and out, and then
not getting that touchdown.
We never
near the end of the half. Yeah, at the end
was
of the half.
huge. Yeah,
it really hurt as well.
Going in there 14.
That could have turned it to our momentum. But
and
even just coming out in the third quarter, just
flat,
not good.
And we got down early, but even in the play calling, I was really questionable. Stefanski almost was playing the game as if he had already accepted the Cleveland job. I don't need a reason or excuse to be here any longer. So, we called 4 or 5 tight end screens just in times where it wasn't called for a screen.
I absolutely despise that call. He called that plenty of times in the New Orleans game too. Where I'm just like, why?
Yeah, this isn't the regular season. You can't. Teams are here for a reason because they don't.
And they know we run it so much because
if this is the only team that runs it consistently, let's watch the film on it.
All right.
Shout out to the Niners. Sorry.
I'm not going to speak.
Yeah, good win, Niners.
I'm not going to speak on it much because again, I did not watch the game. My reasoning for not watching the game is because I convinced myself if I watch this game, they're gonna win. I just knew I didn't want to. I didn't want to, man. I couldn't do. I just knew like if I turn this game on, watch it start to finish, they're gonna win. They're gonna upset me, which is exactly what happened in Green Bay too. Because I knew that would happen. Like if I watch this game, Green Bay's gonna win, and it's gonna irritate me. And I just knew it's like if I turn this game on, they're gonna win.
I felt bad because once I stopped watching, we didn't score any more points. So
and maybe you cursed them.
I blame my work.
Yeah.
So that now puts the Vikings in a very interesting spot this offseason. So now,
don't have a lot of cap.
Basically have no cap.
Mm-hmm.
Both of your coordinators are gone.
Mm-hmm.
Not capping.
And the quarterback's in the final year of his deal.
Mm-hmm. Yes.
If you are Ziggy Will,
mm-hmm.
and you're looking at your cap situation,
mm-hmm.
you're looking at the players, the personnel you have, you're looking at your coach, you're looking at your now about to go into your third offense. That's just going to be so unfortunate for Kirk Cousins that he'll have 3 different offensive coordinators.
I feel like they're going to move in Clint Kubiak, so it won't be that much of a change.
I think it's funny. It's going to be the Kubiak and Zimmer show of the kids.
So,
which is funny.
But the thing is, they're still going to do different stuff, and I still think it's going to take them time
because I'm
to learn that. That's and you know I'm a Kirk Cousins hater. I just don't think that's going to be fair to him because now if he does struggle next year,
mm-hmm.
it's going to be all on him. But really, he's got to learn 3 different systems.
3 things. 1, I think the system will be relatively similar because it looks like it'll be Kubiak's kid, and a lot of the zone running game, play action game was of Gary Kubiak being like the assistant to the offensive coordinator roles type stuff. So I think a lot of that will stay the same. A lot of personnel type will stay the same. 2, this will be Kirk's 4th offensive coordinator in 4 years because his last year in Washington.
It might be 5th, actually. I think he had 2 his last.
He had 2 in Washington.
I think he had 2 his last 2 years in Washington. I believe Sean McVay left the year before.
Yep.
He went to
and they were
Minnesota.
Unreal that year because so were the Vikings.
Okay, no,
Or
I'm wrong.
ahead.
Yeah, so then that means McVay would have left after the 17 season,
mm-hmm.
which makes sense. No. McVay left before the 17 season.
Yeah.
So that means he had 2. Yeah, he had McVay the 16 season,
mm-hmm.
and then whoever it was in 17.
Mm-hmm.
Then he came to the Vikings.
Mm-hmm. And then 3, this will be Minnesota's 5th offensive coordinator in 5 years.
So does that bug you as a Vikings fan that you guys are just going through offensive coordinators like that? I get Kevin is different because he got a
mm-hmm.
different job.
Mm-hmm.
But like as a Viking, the Bears just fired their OC.
Yeah.
Like if before the next 2 years, if we fired this one, I'd be concerned.
Mm-hmm.
To go through 5.
I don't get it is the thing. It's really, really strange because these new head coaching opportunities pop up after the Vikings have a good season, whether they got fired or a coaching regime change or they got a better job. But every time I have yet to see somebody find success outside of this organization. That's why I'm not totally concerned or anything because I applaud them for trying to get themselves a
Norv
new
Turner.
job. Yeah, Norv Turner. He's kind of a douche for that, in my opinion. Just left and then went and took the job in Carolina. What? Just I don't know. I didn't like that, but it's very strange. The only one that probably concerned me the most was, but it kind of needed to happen because it just wouldn't happen. Was firing DiFilippo. Yeah, because
before his first year was over.
Yeah, only because I could understand why he just would refuse to run the ball for some reason. Just wouldn't do it. You have an electric back and Cook, and then we saw the success of feeding him the ball this last year. He just wouldn't do it, and then he wouldn't scheme different things. He said, "Oh, we're just going to keep throwing the ball. We're just going to keep throwing the ball deep. We're just going to keep doing this," and then.
They were calling for his head too.
Yeah,
Minnesota fans.
So that was kind of the only thing that I was concerned about. Besides that, I'm like, everything's out of control.
So I this is just based on what I've seen on Twitter, man. It seems like a lot of Vikings fans are happy that Kevin Stefanski is gone too. What do y'all want at OC, man? Like, what is it that you are looking for in offensive coordinator?
Consistency in what works.
You can't be consistent if you're losing guys every year. That you're never going to be consistent.
So if you were to look at the game logs through this year, when we were good and we're playing at pretty elite level, we were running bootlegs, getting Kirk out of the pocket, these deep balls, running game was efficient. And then when we're not playing well or efficient at all, it's these weird trying to get funky with plays, tight end screen.
I just want to be good defenses. That's really so.
That's
can we?
That's
just
so
get
hard for any.
Can we just
pretty much anyone that's not Andy Reid though.
Yeah.
I mean, there's not a lot. There's just really not a lot of guys out there who can scheme against great defenses, except Andy Reid. That's really the only one off the top of my head I feel confident going against a great defense and trying to out-scheme them. I think everyone else is going to be like, nope, like we're just going to try not to lose this game. So it's pretty interesting. I'm looking at Case Keenum stats in 2017 versus Kirk Cousins this year. It's pretty eerie how similar they are.
Exactly.
Let's see. Case Keenum had over 3,500 yards, 22 touchdowns, 7 picks, and 14 starts, while Kirk had 3,600 yards, 26 touchdowns, and 6 picks, and 15 starts. I mean, they are close. And Case played one less game. And, I mean, I doubt Case has a 4-touchdown game to make up for the touchdowns.
No.
But he threw more picks in less games, too.
They both beat the Saints.
And they both beat the Saints off last-second touchdowns. Well, I should say last-play touchdowns, not last-second touchdowns.
Last-play touchdowns. Yeah, that's weird how it works, but
I mean,
not much has happened for Case after.
Beating the Saints, that's the Viking Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Right there.
We just can't play the Saints. We're not allowed to play the Saints.
That is becoming a very good rivalry.
I agree.
Saints and Vikings.
Over the last 10 years now.
I mean, they just do not like each other. They do not like each other. Michael Thomas was
going wild on Twitter. He was wild.
You know what's most funny about that? By the way, did you know that Case Keenum and Kirk Cousins are also both 31 years old?
Wow.
Yeah, they're eerily similar. But I think the funniest thing about the Michael Thomas thing on Twitter was that Vikings fans act like they wouldn't do the same exact thing as the role reverse. If the Saints would have won, would have beat the Vikings and then went and lost to the 49ers, Vikings fans definitely been on Twitter. That's what y'all get. That's what you get. You guys are trash, blah, blah, blah. That's why I thought it was funny that a lot of Vikings fans were so upset by that. I'm like, you totally would have done the same thing.
It's just toxic sports fans.
Yeah,
What are you going to do?
Yeah, it's just Michael Thomas talking trash, man. It's like, it happens.
It happens. It really does.
So
doesn't change the fact that we beat them. So
exactly.
Twice. So I was actually thinking about this today. The NFC North is in a very interesting quarterback situation right now. All 4 teams, I think at least in these next 2 years, all have to be thinking about what is there going to be their next quarterback. Now, unfortunately for the Bears, it's based off of your quarterback just hasn't been good, while the other 3 are based off contract and age and all that. So, like, Green Bay should definitely be thinking about what's next after Rodgers. And because Aaron is good enough that he can give you this year and probably next year. You still have a Super Bowl window with him, but after that, I just think I think it's just going to start going downhill fast because he's losing athleticism. Kirk has 1 year left on his contract, and Sean Mannion is also a free agent, so you might.
Yeah, well, we did draft Drake Browning last year, and
Jake Browning should not be your replacement for Kirk Cousins. So I don't know if I was the Vikings, I would probably extend Kirk. I give Kirk a two more years next year, and then give him a 2.
Take a pay cut.
I mean, yeah. Well, good luck with that. Good luck convincing a quarterback to take a pay cut on a team that hasn't won anything.
Well, he hasn't won anything, so he's out of here.
Yeah, this next year is very important for our situation. If say we miss the playoffs, Kirk's obviously gone. Zimmer may even get fired.
You're overpaid. You're replaceable. That's how I feel.
And not only that, I think even I think Vikings are Super Bowl or bust next year, man.
Probably.
I think you have to go in the Super Bowl or bust mode, man. You're looking at all the coordinators you keep losing. You're looking at the quarterback situation. I mean, so far in the 2 out of 3 years you got from Kirk Cousins, he got you 1 game short of the 6th seed and got you the 6th seed. And if I'm Ziggy Woods, I'm like, that's just not good enough. It's simply not good enough. And I know Dalvin looked really good, and there are times Vikings look super good this year, but eventually you got to think Super Bowl, man. You have the most playoff losses of all time.
Most playoff wins, though.
without a Super Bowl.
I know.
Which is all that matters.
Playoff appearances.
Yeah, without a Super Bowl, and that would just drive me. That would just drive me crazy to know that every year, like you can't count the Vikings out of the playoff race, but at the same time, you kind of feel like you can count them out the Super Bowl because you just know.
Yeah,
it's just not going to happen.
It's almost like we shouldn't expect anything because
we'd be insane to.
You know what? I'm gonna say it right now. I'm not gonna expect anything out of the Vikings next year. Let's just see what happens.
You better get ready for a rebuild.
Because that's fine. Because then I'll have a whole year. Because after that Bears loss, I said, strapping in for 8-8. Here we go. Went 10-6, made the playoffs, beat the Saints. Not a bad season. But also, again, interesting situation going forward. Contract money, rosters, lack of cap space. A lot of young players, though.
I'm hoping we draft well.
So
I hope so too.
So my only reason I disagree with you is because the franchise has never won one, and now they haven't even been one since the late 70s.
Mm-hmm.
I just don't think I don't think Vikings fans should accept that. I don't think Vikings fans should accept this as a successful season, knowing you've had seasons that were better than this, especially even recently, the 13-3 NFC Championship season. And, even 2009, I don't think 10-6 and one playoff win should be looked at as a good season if you're a Vikings fan. For the Bears, it would be different because, we went 5 years without making the playoffs. We would have won a playoff game last year after winning the division.
It's true.
That had been a very successful season for the Bears. But for the Vikings, it's just too many times you just get there and just can't get it done.
I don't know what to tell you.
I'm just glad I'm not a Vikings fan, man.
Yeah.
Oh, let's take a quick peek at
it's final.
Oh, it's final? The LSU?
They've done it. Go Tigers 42-25.
Congrats
to the LSU Tigers. My heart said Joe Burrow and LSU, but I picked Clemson.
They were just the best team this year.
They really were.
They were just top to bottom. They just beat everyone. Honestly, they should look at this as an all-time great team. They beat a lot of top-ranked teams.
Number one, that offense is a juggernaut.
I mean, did they play a close game this year? I don't think they played. They've rarely played in any close games this year. And they
a bunch of points every game.
And they gave Trevor Lawrence his first career loss tonight. And they did it by I'm really bad at math right now. 13 points. No, that is not correct. Okay, yeah.
What's the score?
42-25.
42-25.
So 17 points. I'm sorry.
Yep.
17 points. Yeah, they beat them by 17 points. So LSU. I think this team's gonna have to look at. They're gonna have to look at it and say it's one of the all-time greats because this is an incredible run they went on this year.
Their closest game was a 46-41 win in Tuscaloosa.
Against Alabama.
Yep.
That game got close late. If you watched it, that game was just LSU.
They were beating them, and then they fell apart at the end.
Well, on paper, that's the closest game.
Yeah, man. Yeah, shout out to LSU, man. You had a fantastic run, and
we
love your coach. We love your coach across the plane,
especially after being kind of bad for a handful of years during near the end of the Les Miles era.
Yeah, man. Les Miles just went out
in a freaking blaze of fire. I know. Well, that's how bad it was. So, but anyways.
Yeah, I think we can wrap it up.
Yeah, I think so.
No, you want to do predictions?
Oh my goodness. How did I forget?
How dare you? How dare I? AFC Championship game. Go.
So, I think the hottest defense in the league going against an offense that just cannot miss. I think they're going to struggle. I'm going Kansas City. I think they're going to handle them. I think Tennessee is going to be competitive. They're going to go down fighting and swinging, but I think Kansas City's just too tough. At home, too.
So, what's the score?
34-21. Actually, I don't think Tennessee's getting 21. 34-17.
I think Kansas City, but last week we did this. We all picked Baltimore by a close one because the defense, Lamar Jackson. I'm not surprised if Tennessee keeps doing what they're doing, running the ball, dominating the trenches. holding time of possession. But Kansas City 24-21 on a last-second field goal. Like you said, hottest defense, but an offense just always stays hot.
I mean, they scored 28 in the second quarter alone.
Yeah, Houston's defense is not Tennessee's defense, though.
It's true.
Who you got, Jake?
I'm going to go Kansas City 34, Tennessee 24.
I could see that.
I mean, I know Kansas City's defense is not that good. I struggle to see Tennessee putting up that many points.
We'll see.
I mean, Ryan Tannehill's going to have to throw more than 100.
He's going to have to hit 100 yards. Yeah.
Yeah, he hasn't thrown for 90 yards in this postseason yet.
Hey, 2 games so far, so.
Yeah. Maybe this is it. Third time's a charm. NFC Championship game. Go.
So this one's really tough for me because I really think San Francisco is the better team top to bottom.
Agreed.
Especially on defense. I think they're just the better team. They're at home. However, it's hard to beat a team twice, especially an Aaron Rodgers-led team.
In his home.
And he already does not like the 49ers because they passed on him.
49ers are a historic franchise, too.
And Green Bay and Kansas City played in the very first Super Bowl, and this is the 100th season. This is the oldest franchise
Put
in
it
the
on.
league.
State Farm's been doing ads.
And I really think the NFL wants Aaron Rodgers to get one more ring. That would definitely solidify his legacy. I'm going San Francisco 27-24. Game-winning field goal.
Robbie Gold
for the win. Ending Green Bay season. Please do it for us. But, yeah, Green Bay scares me. I always thought Green Bay was the worst of the top teams because I thought their defense suspect and their offense outside of Aaron Jones and Devontae Adams just does not have a lot of playmakers on it. But they're just finding ways to win. They just find ways to do it. And that's what Aaron Rodgers has always done in his career, just finding a way to do it and get it done. And I think he's going to put them in a good spot, but I think San Francisco is just a better team.
I think the San Francisco is the better team as well. I think the Packers will win because
Trader, get him out of here.
Because of certain factors that are coming into play. I would not be surprised if that were to happen at all.
Tinfoil hat.
Put it on. Don't be surprised if we come next week be like, you know what? There were a couple calls in there. Probably could have gone the other way. But that defense is still legit on the other side of the 49ers. Aaron Rodgers hasn't looked like the Aaron Rodgers of old. I would not be surprised if they get a couple turnovers and manage to capitalize. The 49ers do end up winning. But I think the final score, based on these factors, is going to be Green Bay 27, San Francisco 21. And I think they'll get the chance to win it, the 49ers, too.
Be aware, it's very rare Aaron Rodgers turns the ball over.
No, I know, exactly.
I'm going to go with the same score, but different teams. I'm going San Francisco 27, Green Bay 21. San Francisco wins at home.
So, Jake and I have Chiefs, 49ers in the Super Bowl. 49ers should be going for number 6. And then you have the classic Super Bowl 1.
Super Bowl 1. You've got you got the tinfoil hat. Revin. He said Super Bowl 1. I was on board.
I really don't want Green Bay to win, man. But that would be a fantastic game. Fantastic between two classic franchises.
And that's for predictions for next Monday.
All right, it's been a great episode. This is Jake the Rookie. And I think we're going to wrap it up, right?
No, we got another hour and a half. Just kidding. Yo. This is Marcell, a.k.a. @Styles_Rap His Life. Shout out to Will. Hope you're feeling better. We missed you. We definitely got to get your Super Bowl picks. We'll probably wait 2 weeks for that, actually.
Oh, yeah. Unless you want to do Pro Bowl picks.
No.
I think the NFC takes it 65-52.
Make sure you follow me on Twitter and Instagram @Styles_Rap His Life. Like the pics. I tweet some funny stuff.
This is Trinity_19. Maple Jordan season. He hasn't looked good. But none of the Wolves will look good. Actually, that's a lie. He didn't look good tonight. So hopefully things will get turned around. Maybe we'll have some Wolves talk next week. But
And follow us on Twitter and on Twitter at Across the Plane. THA.
Singular.
Only one plane. No, not multiple. And make sure you follow us on Instagram across _the_plane. Have a great night, everybody.
Good night.